Hi everyone, it's Adrian Leah. I wanted to do a reading. I will be in this area and then my godmother is having guests over on Saturday. So I'll have to go back to the other room for a little bit. But for the time that I'm here, I wanted to make as many videos as I can. So it is the time of the year, and I'm wearing one of my sweaters that I knit last year. I just have it bunched up here. But I refuse to turn off the fan that's in the room. Yeah. I feel like there's multiples of two that come up. That's what I was getting before I started the reading. And the Archangel Oracle box, it felt like it was meant to have some messages to come out because I kept accidentally hitting the box, and I'm sorry about that. The card at the bottom is Archangel Jeremiel, all is well. Everything is happening exactly as it's supposed to, with hidden messages you will soon understand. And I'll take some from the bottom that I already saw. That really connects me because, especially when you've had stuff and it's happened a certain way before, and then for some reason it just turned out in a different way this time, and sometimes you're counting on it for the repetitiveness or for it to be consistent. So you're prepared for that, but I feel like life wants you to prepare for things that you're not familiar with. So the other two cards that we're showing is Archangel Jopiel. Clear your space, get rid of clutter, clear the energy around you, and use feng shui. Archangel Michael, crystal clear intentions. Be clear about what you desire and focus upon it with unwavering faith. And then the card that I pulled, you are safe, Archangel Michael. I am protecting you against slower energies and guarding you, your loved ones, and home. And it's hard to say if it's getting cooler. I feel like I don't look at the weather report usually, and some days it's a lot cooler and then it just jumps and goes back to like it being noticeably warmer. I feel like it's good to have a flow. Like if you're doing something that sparks inspiration to do something else that maybe you've left on the wayside for a while, like you've started a project and it reminds you that you didn't finish another project that you've had on hold for a while. Um, it's good to take those opportunities to finish the things that were on hiatus. The card at the bottom, the Queen of Wands. And then the Ace of Pentacles. I did pull out other cards. I didn't turn them over yet. This could also be highlighting things that you know how to do and that you're determined to learn. With the Ace of Pentacles, it could be scouting or recruiting in a way. So, Pentacles in general could be linking to career. It could also be linking to some romantic endeavors too, since it's the Queen of Wands. And I feel like with the Wands, it kind of gets grounded with the Pentacles because there's enthusiasm with the Wands energy. Um, with Cups, you tend to associate it with relationships, and then the Wands are more like the spark of excitement in that way too. So I feel like it brings other elements in different ways. This kind of does feel like it brings things into perspective. You're thinking outside the box, you're drawing outside the lines, and that creates the ideas are that tend to be impactful in the world because they're different than the other ideas that have come about. The light really shines on the card in this reading. And then the other card is, or two, Clairsentience, Archangel Rag. You'll notice your reoccurring physical and emotional feelings as they signify divine guidance. I feel like the Ace of Pentacles is a good card to have in this at this time because the Queen isn't the Knight, but there does feel like there might be a flighty energy, especially if things aren't familiar. And I feel like it's important when this card comes out, like you are safe, Archangel Michael. I am protecting you against lower energies and guarding you and your loved ones and home. Archangel Michael comes out twice in this reading, so there could be that emphasis too on this Archangel's energy. Um, and it does have like that protection of warriors that tends to be one of the representations that Archangel Michael has. Then there's patience. Archangel Jopiel comes out twice in this reading too. So patience, your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize. Still they need nurturing and patience. So this could also be paying attention to mannerisms. Not only mannerisms in other people, but also again with the pentacles could be related to like career or something that you might freelance or do on as a hobby or something that you've taken interest in, and you're paying attention to different patterns and things that are out of pattern. If you see something out of the norm and then the plant is looking differently, reacting differently, you are sure to investigate that if that's what you're trying to do. And in general, you for the livelihood to keep the plant in good health. This could also be for yourself too. The Queen of Wands could also be grounding at this time. This could be some type of settlement. It could be like some terms of agreement. Um, this could be also settling as in relationship too, because the Wands energy, I feel like it, in a way, it can take longer for that energy to settle for relationships. There is that wildness that comes out of it, and it's good to hone in on those things. And for others, if it comes down to that type of interaction of whatever relationship it may be, to have that um, respect for those types of personality traits. If you're going into a relationship, it's not something that you want to change up on like the person. It's you're not going to want to change your personality depending on the audience. It's kind of like being authentic and making sure that the other person is comfortable and happy with those things. Of course, there's always growth, but the Ace of Pentacles can depict growth too, like a growth spurt in that direction. This could also be influenced too. You could be guiding, you could be inspiring, because with this Ace of Pentacles, it looks like there are others that have caught on to this pentacle or the trident. And with it looking like a puppet hand almost, it can be something where people follow your lead. So depending on what you're trying to do, it'd be good to hone into leadership skills and maybe study up on certain things so you could exceed expectations. For some, this Ace of Pentacles, it you may be weary of it at first, because it looks like something is trying to change the cycle with the Death card, and it's matched up with the Devil card. Don't be alarmed. but it feels like energy that keeps you in that same position that you were in. Because it also has the Four of Cups and the High Priestess. And the High Priestess could come in to evaluate the situation or to even say that you've known that the things that have been happening or that haven't been happening are maybe a sign of those times. And of course, you can keep going at it. There's also that persistence, to just be aware of what you're getting yourself into and to keep pushing forward. If you're trying to go against the grain, sometimes it's necessary to go against the grain, like I said, going and drawing outside the lines. There's also the aspect of, I would just say in general, doing the things that need to be completed. And that might be the adversity that comes out of it. That can also be giving an opportunity some light and seeing it for what the potential is instead of just pushing it away. With the Ace of Pentacles, I feel like there's a sense of not like wanting to follow the lead for some, and you might be the lead, you might be the one that follows, but it's there's an aspect of not wanting to be a pawn or not wanting to be a sheep in that way. And being able to have the integrity or to stand by something that is important. I would say that this is pretty universal, or that could be group setting again with the Ace of Pentacles. I'll turn over the other cards. And it seems like I didn't turn over all the cards. The obstacle really is there with the Seven of Wands. And in some areas, it almost feels like even though you could be in a group setting, it feels like you're fighting your own battles and you're not sure how far you need to go with it. It seems like at a difficult spot. And with the snowflakes there, it looks like, as I say in a lot of readings, on an individual basis, and snowflakes are unique. Each one is different. So there could be a different obstacle for each person. And it can be reworking the system. It can be reworking your own routine. In the past, you have the Temperance card. And it's not saying that temperance can't still be in your life, but it is saying that we're going back and we're looking at the blueprints because there's just something that we need to look into. There's something that needs to be changed, or um, whatever the necessary deed is. If you're fighting against the grain, what do you need to know in order to complete it? But presently, it's the Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands, it feels like heading in the right direction. It really does also link to the Ace of Pentacles because usually the Six of Wands has multiple people on horses and they're being led by the main horse or person on the horse. How to overcome the obstacle, which is the Seven of Wands, is the Nine of Pentacles, which is definitely promising. Because you do have some tools in your arsenal. And it doesn't matter with age. It doesn't matter with gender or race. There's just something about life experience that elevates you in that way. And that's what sets you up for being in a certain job or um, better situation. It does feel like there's going to be work ahead, that just because you're in that Nine of Pentacles energy or going into the Nine of Pentacles energy because it's how to overcome the obstacle, it's still putting in the work and you don't see it any other way, and the others are relying on you to set that example too because they might not know how to do certain things that you know how to do. And sometimes it is bringing different elements or bringing different experiences into the situation too. Um, like if you're trying to concoct a therapeutic or medicinal drink and everyone brainstorms, this might be very specific, but um, sometimes others have tried other herbs and they have their own herbs in their arsenal. That was one of the things that we were asked to realize and to write about is what are the herbs? I'm so sorry. What are the herbs that you rely on and how they affect you, their capabilities, their therapeutic uses, their possible adverse effects, their constituents that contribute to those therapeutic uses, their interactions to other herbs, other medications, um, modern medicine, where they come from, what they look like, and what have you. They're asking why on different levels. And one person might have a group of herbs that they have in their arsenal that another person might not have in their own. And when you do some brainstorming together, you'll hear about these different herbs and what they can do and potentially can or cannot do. And somehow you make this drink and it has different elements of what you're looking for. Because in a proprietary blend, I noticed that a lot of times in stores, they have a lot of herbs in the proprietary blends, which it's, if you like it, you like it, and I won't be against it at all. But a lot of times, we might push away these herbs because we don't know what they're capable of. And we can't pinpoint the ones that help us and the ones that hinder us. So I usually like to see, and if I could recommend, maybe doing 1 to 5 herbs. So you could, it could be more distinct and you can see how these individual herbs affect you and on what levels and what they could do. So I feel like bringing different elements or even brainstorming with others can help at this time because there's also the overall energy of the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is kind of ears closed or maybe eyes closed because there's that level of perception of unknowing. And even with the Knight of Pentacles can be studying more because there's always something else that you can learn, there's always something else that you could do. And that could be with the Two of Wands associated with it. What are the other things that can help grow the situation, that help you understand routine, that help you understand when things are out of place or when they're different, how they're supposed to be in certain settings, what will hinder the growth if it's next to a plant or environment that is it doesn't thrive in. There's some there's a lot of herbs that don't thrive in certain weather conditions, and there's the opposite herbs. There are the resilient ones that are the weeds that are my favorite because they're packed with minerals and are super powerful and beneficial, um, nutritious, just really just looking at the setting on where they're able to grow, where other plants aren't able to grow, and how much they suck out of the soil, or how much they can get out of the ground in areas that, again, other plants won't be able to thrive in. You see, maybe a dandelion on, depending on which one it is, but in the middle of your lawn, and then you see that it's the only one that's growing there because it just sucks everything out of the ground. So we're gonna be resilient like the dandelions. Let me pull out other cards and then I'll end the reading. A really common one is Pterotax cum officinalis. Hopefully I didn't butcher it too badly. And a lot of times officinalis are given to the plants that are more studied and a little more recognized. But there's always other studying that can be done too. And even with the Ace of Pentacles, with this Eight of Swords, there are other people that, again, there might be more behind the scenes that they're going through. And maybe you're at, what is it, like a stopping point or like a place where you meet, and then for some reason they're just, they haven't gotten to that point yet because there's still other obstacles or things that they need to do. Does it need to be obstacles if you want to think about it in other ways, um, of why they haven't gotten to that or that checkpoint or that area of interaction. At the bottom is the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, or the Pentacles in general, they're heavy energies. And how I like think about it is like planted feet on the ground that just don't budge. Like it's hard to move earth energy. And that persuasion can be difficult for the earth energy too. It doesn't usually get um, persuaded in other ways as the other elements do. The elements have their own ways that they do things. Like maybe the forest fairies and the sea fairies, and maybe from where they are, like different traits, different personality types, on how they perceive things, how they do things, how they react to things, especially. There can be some culture shock to that too. Yeah, also had the star. I don't know why it was. I guess y'all came out. There is that energy that it kind of feels like, when maybe you haven't interacted with somebody in a while and it might be a little out of the ordinary and you're thinking of all the things that maybe could have upset them and you're like, oh, I hope they're not upset with me because I said this at one time or I did this at other time or the time where I laughed at them when maybe I should have taken the situation more seriously. And the star card came out twice. Oh my god. That's like double confirmation. That's like two stars. I don't know. Like, well, that doesn't sound like a good thing, but happy times make positive, optimistic, long-term plans on the right path. And you already have the Ace of Pentacles, you have the Six of Wands, and those are indications of going on making specific choices or taking specific opportunities and going in the direction that seems optimistic and generally a good direction. As I said, with there being like some more things that need to be done, there is the heavy energy, even though this is fire, the 10 of fire, 10 of wands, too much work, accept help from others, life is out of balance, stress related health concerns. There seems like a lot that's on your plate that just feels like I feel like Archangel Michael is really associating with that energy at this time. There's just like so much to do, and it feels like not a lot of progress that's being made. And yet, you're thinking, well, I can't avoid this. Like, it needs to be completed anyway. Um, if you're looking for a job and you're getting to the point where you need to have a job, then it's not something that's normally, or it could be, normally avoidable. So it's like you're going to keep doing it and see if there's other avenues that you could take it. Maybe there's other sources. Maybe it's changing or changing, editing certain things in your resume. Um, Making sure that it is as pristine as you can get it. They do look at punctuation, they do look at format. Of course, they look at the experience. So, certain things that maybe you could even elevate too. You have the Strength card and the Nine of Fire, the Nine of Wands. This is, I would say, one of the most encouraging cards in the Angel Tarot. So with the Strength card, it's Archangel Ariel, and it's good inner strength, sorry, great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. I feel like there's also the aspect of not stressing others out too that are already stressed out. Like if you're in that leadership role and the people around you need like um, something that just motivates them and keeps them going. I wouldn't do like a stress talk. Maybe you could talk about certain things that are on their mind and maybe it eases them, or just that level of optimism or excitement, or even the force of nature that maybe they're seeking or they're hoping out of following. If you're the leader or if they're the leader, it'll be good for that strength to come out. And then you have the Nine of Fire. So it says, don't give up, protect that which you've created, have courage and believe in yourself. Because it kind of feels like sometimes there's the energy of like, I can't do this, or um, maybe not that you can't do it, you're just like, this is just a lot to take in. And with that Nine of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles has an arsenal and has worked with and interacted with different types of herbs or different types of situations, or even encountered the people in the Ace of Pentacles and in the Six of Wands, where it's that influence. And it's honing into skills and then doing even more with it. It's always that continuous um, growth period or times or even cycles of always learning, always bettering what you do so that the arsenal just you keep putting the other herbs in. And then I'll end it on one card, and it's the Six of Swords. There's a lot of gradual movement, and although they're coming from like the Ace of, I'm sorry, I was going to say the Minor Arcana, but since I said Ace of Pentacles, or was going to say the Ace of Pentacles, it could be coming from the Ace of Pentacles. Um, it's really optimistic energy that even when you feel that fatigue or stress, or there's something that relieves that, because the Six of Swords, it goes into calmer times and you get to the destination. And you see that the lighthouse is the guidance there too. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful. I'll see you in another video. Bye.